And the thing about this concept is that it happens every single day, at least in the hospital, such as one syringe, una jeringa. This example right here is the general rule of thumb for a hospital conversation. Okay, everyone seems to get this one wrong, even bilingual staff. So let's fix it. We are going to talk about one of the trickiest concepts when learning Spanish. Some versus any. And the thing about this concept is that it happens every single day when you have a conversation with your patient in the hospital in Spanish. Now, for this to make sense, we have to explore what quantifiers are. So what are quantifiers? In the hospital, patients use quantifiers to express unknown amounts. Whether you're asking, do you have any pain, or do you have any pills left? In English, we use any as a quantifier when asking questions, at least in the hospital. Now, more specifically, we use any when asking about countable and uncountable nouns. Now, by countable, I mean things that you can count individually, such as one syringe, two syringes, three syringes, una jeringa, dos jeringas, tres jeringas. You know, those that can be plural. And when we say uncountable, we mean those that cannot be counted individually. Now, these are mass or abstract concepts, such as water, blood, or pain level. You know, in Spanish, agua, sangre, or nivel de dolor. Now, that's the question side in English. When we talk about answers, we use some. Now, some is used to express an answer of how much or how many there is of something. So if you ask, do you have any pills left in Spanish? And the answer is, yes, I have some. This example right here is the general rule of thumb for a hospital conversation. We use any for questions and some for answers. Now, the textbook definition is to use any in questions and negative sentences, and to use some when you expect the answer to be yes, positive, or if you're offering or requesting something. Now, that is why if the question is, do you have any pills? And if you have a certain quantity, the answer is yes, I do have some, because the answer is positive. But if you do not, the answer is no, I don't have any, because in this case, the answer is negative. Make sense? So again, let's recap. The general rule of thumb for a hospital conversation: we use any for questions and some for answers. Now, why am I explaining this? Isn't this a Spanish class? Because unfortunately, in Spanish, everything changes. In Spanish, we don't base it on question and answer. We base it on whether it's countable or uncountable. Now, this is the first thing you should memorize. Okay, listen. If it's countable, we use algún or alguna. Remember, this is things you can count with your own hands, things that can be plural.
¿Algún problema?
¿Algún problema?
¿Tiene alguna prueba legal?
These will come later, so you can memorize them too. So let's do an example. A symptom is something that is countable. You can count how many symptoms you have. So the question in a healthcare setting can be, any symptom today? ¿Algún síntoma hoy? Or simply algún síntoma, if you want to keep it short. Very simple and straightforward. If you're asking a patient about the presence of blood, let's say in a gauze, the question in English is, do you have any blood? Notice how we're still using the word any in the question. Now in Spanish, this changes to, ¿tiene usted algo de sangre? Or if you want to keep it short, ¿tiene algo de sangre? You see how we went from algún to algo de? Now this is very important because it will elevate your Spanish fluency. Now most people, even those who speak Spanish, do not know how to explain the use of algún versus algo de. It has become second nature to them. But for you who are just learning it, it's a very important concept to grasp. Now, let's explore more examples. If you're a doctor and you want to ask any symptom today, ¿algún síntoma hoy? Your patient may say, sí, algunos mareos. Now, the amount of this spells is something you can count, so we use algunos, plural for algún. If your question is, do you have any chest pain? ¿Tiene algo de dolor en el pecho? Your patient may say, sí, algo de dolor al respirar. You see the pattern? We use algún for things you can count, symptoms, pills, issues, and algo de for things you cannot count, paint, blood, swelling, just to name a few.
Dime, te ofrezco algo de beber.
Now let's take swelling, for example. If swelling is hinchazón in Spanish, how can you ask, do you have any swelling in Spanish? I'll give you a couple seconds. Tiene algo de hinchazón. Tiene algo de hinchazón. I hope you got it. Now, let me prep you for a negative answer. If you want to ask, do you have any of your medications? Very popular question, especially in the ED. And the patient's answer is, no, I don't have any. In Spanish, you wouldn't say, no, no tengo ningún. That will be considered wrong. Instead, we say, no tengo ninguno. Now, I hope this was helpful. Watch this over and over until it clicks. Trust me, you're going to need it. And just to give you one last tip, do not just stick for algún for everything. If you're interested, I also have multiple flashcards from multiple subjects. Link in the description below if you want to check them out. And if you want more practice on quantifiers in Spanish, go check out lesson number 3. I'll catch you next time. And if you learned something new, comment dolor down below.
Anticonceptivo,
Vaginal discharge.
secreciones vaginales,
Ectopic pregnancy.
embarazo ectópico.
When was your last period?
¿Cuándo fue su última menstruación?
How far apart are your contractions?